All right, let me pull up my little notes. Where did I even put that? I just had it up. So like I said, today we'll dive mindset. Recently I've kind of like put together a list of topics we'll go over too. If you guys ever think of something that you want to discuss, just throw it in like the Facebook group because that helps me think. Because I did that in the free group. But you guys obviously like I want you guys to have access to whatever trainings you want. Um, so let me go over. Actually, I'll do that right now. So I think I did. Was it like 2 weeks ago? Was how to master your meals. Last week I did the improving your workouts. So that should be sent into True Coach, the recordings. Again, I'm gonna try to keep Lindsay's jumping in. I'm gonna try to keep plugging these into the course. So if you are someone that has access to the course, then those will be in there. I'll also try to send the recordings out in Coach as well to keep you guys updated with everything. And next week I'll do like pre-logging food, how to do it. We'll dive into like supplements to improve muscle. Um, you know, a little bit more on repeating workouts, why that's important, daily energy needs. I'll go over the protein, carbs, and fats again. Altering body composition. So these are just a couple of things I have planned. So if there's something you guys really want, just don't be afraid to be like, hey, can we go over this? Here we go. It's like, where's my notes at? And if you guys have any questions, anything you want to touch on, if you're struggling in mindset anywhere in particular and want to kind of bring it up in the group, like feel free. This is why we do this. Just to give you guys some, community. Everyone's struggling with something. So don't be afraid to be like, hey, like I feel like this isn't working out for me. Like bring it up. And that's why I'm here as your coach to push you forward, right? To get you to where you want to be for whatever reason. That's why you guys all have my cell phone number. That's why you guys all have, we have the group chat if you guys ever need to reach out in there. I try to give you guys as many resources as possible. That way there's no gap in where you guys need help. So if you need something, please feel free to reach out. That's one thing I really, really try to do for all of you. All right, so let's kind of dive into mindset because we are towards the end of the year, right? We have a new year coming, so that's usually where most people are like they're kind of waiting to that. I don't like for you guys to kind of think that way, only because now because you guys are starting, you're still in it, you're doing this now, so you're already one step ahead of everyone else because everyone else waits until after January. And at that point, like you could have started weeks before and already be down a bunch of weight or whatever your goals are. So being where you are now, like I said, you're already a step ahead of everyone else because people are afraid to invest in themselves. Like honestly, like it's scary. I do it all the time. Just like me and Zan were talking, I invest in coaches for myself. And the mindset is something in every program that I've been in. So I always try to implement it with you guys as well because it's a huge, huge key to being successful. So let's kind of dive in here, right? So first and foremost, I want you guys to take it one day at a time, right? If we keep thinking like days or weeks into the future, it's going to make it a lot harder for you. So you have today, if it was a shitty day, take it as it is. Start again the next day. Another thing too, right? I know Lindsay was sending me pictures of some cookies today. People are gonna try to throw you off your game, man. Like they really are. People are gonna be like, oh, it's just a little bit this. It's okay. Like it's gonna happen. For you guys, like take it as it is. Like, hey, like, yep, you can have stuff too. Like, I don't want you guys to think like you're not allowed to have things because there are coaches out there that will literally like lose their mind if you guys go off plan or like don't eat what they say you're supposed to eat. Like that's not the goal here. The goal here for you guys is just to learn how to functionally eat, lose weight, and then maintain it, right? Because that is the only way you're going to be successful long term. It's something that I've done. I've never really went back to extreme diets and stuff like that. I make things super easy for myself. I want to make stuff super easy for you guys. So just realize people also won't understand why you want to do what you want to do. That is always a big thing as well. Like, right, like some people will be like, oh, I'm trying to get healthy and lose weight. And there will be people that'll try to like talk you down out of it. I don't know why. Usually it's them, not you. So don't ever think it's something that reflects you. It usually is reflecting on them, because they're afraid to try to do stuff that's hard. That's really what it is. Like at the end of the day, like changing how you normally are, like, maybe a few weeks ago, and changing to a different mindset is going to be a little bit difficult, right? Like, how many of you here were probably like, I can't believe how much food I'm friggin' eating now, because when we first spoke, you were under eating or not eating enough, and that right there is like a huge step. Like, honestly, like from where you were a couple months ago or a couple weeks ago, wherever we started at, to where you are now, a lot of you have shifted your mindset, whether you see it or not. And a lot of times we don't notice it until we really think back on it. So definitely keep that in mind as well. Not every day or every week is going to go how you want. Like for me, I was like, oh, I'm going to start like cutting on the 4th. And it just felt like same thing. Like, guys, I have Roblox all the time. Like, my wife's been off. Shh, don't tell it. It's not her fault. But we've been going like out because she's been off. So usually she's at work, 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 tired, go to bed. So my week has been a lot different than normal, right? So you just have to like basically adjust and do what you got to do, and just try to make smart decisions. That's really it. Like, if you are going to go out to eat, my thing is I always try to get activity in. So just understand, like, hey, if you something's going to throw you off, people are going to throw you off all the time. Events, like all of a sudden you might have all your meals planned out, and then someone's like, hey, you want to go meet for dinner, and you're like, oh, like I had my macros on point. That is going to happen. It really is. So all you really have to do is just kind of like roll with it, try to make the best decision you can, because at the end of the day, like, making sure this stuff is going to fit into your lifestyle is what's really important. Another thing is too, right? I think I posted this in the free group, but just not quitting is the best thing you could do, because you guys not quitting on yourself is what's going to make you see results long term. Because, like I said, there are going to be days or weeks that aren't super great, and you're going to be like, this kind of sucks. I don't want to do it anymore. If you don't quit, then you can't fail, right? I always keep that in the back of my head, for everything that I do. If you don't quit, you can't fail, right? So, whatever it might be, like whenever you're having a shitty day, week, month, if something's not working, if you don't quit, you can't fail at it. So that is definitely something I always think about. Um, and just know that, like, again, you might not see the results that you wanted that week. It might push back like another week. That it is what it is. Like, as long as you keep going, you're only going to get better, stronger. You'll start seeing inches lost, things like that. So just keep moving, and you can't mess it up. Really, that's really what it just comes down to consistency. Let me see. Has anyone got anything? Everybody good so far? Extreme diets make me neurotic, honestly. Yes, Liz, for sure. And that's what happened to me. Mm. And it was like, back when I was in my early 20s, maybe even like younger, I felt like I was always jumping on those. You have to cut out everything, 1,200 calorie diets. And it messes with your mindset because you think that if you don't follow that to a T, you're not going to see results. When in reality, like, that's not true. Like, it really isn't. You guys really have to go throw yourself off a lot in order not to see results, and it has to be like at a consistent amount. So as long as you know get a good understanding of your nutrition, have a good plan of action, follow it for at least, what do I give you guys, like, what, 20% threshold when it terms of your nutrition. If you get somewhat close to that, like, and stay the course, it really just all falls into place. But the only way is to like know what you're eating from the get-go, and then stay the course that way, because the more you do it, the easier it becomes, right? I have a couple clients now, that just kind of intuitively eat, because we got their nutrition tracked for the first couple weeks that they were working with me, and then we learned eventually how to not keep it super strict. Let's see here. Next is going to be motivation. All right. Guys, motivation is only going to get you so far. It really is because uh I mean, even today, my wife and I looked at each other and we're like, oh, we have to go to the gym. Like motivated? No, I was not. I was like, I'm just gonna go, get it over with, drink my pre-workout. That'll get me to the gym. Because dude, there's like gonna be a lot of days where you're busy. You're sitting all day. I was sitting on the computer the past like 2 or 3 days. You're not gonna feel like it. So if you don't kind of discipline yourself to do it, then it's not gonna happen. Because you know, if you don't plan it, you'll skip it. That's the only thing I can really think about it. Like if I don't plan like, hey, these are the days I'm going to the gym, then 9 times out of 10 I'll find not so much an excuse, but I'll just like get into like a rabbit hole of me doing something else that will prevent me from going. Even though it's my job to be in shape, like I don't want to do it all the time either. Like honestly, like it's always going to be a constant battle with yourself. So just do yourself the favor and just be like, hey, like you just put it on your phone. Like I use my phone all the time to like plan stuff, like dumb stuff, like call mom. You know what I mean? Just so that way it's if not, if I don't plan it, I won't do it and I'll forget. So like same thing with gym, like go to the gym. Do plan your meals, log your food, just so that way you can, if you have goals, you have to plan it out. That's really what it comes down to. What else did I want to kind of, oh, I wanted to talk to you guys too about like using something as a goal, whether it's like your shirt, your pants, belt loop, whatever it might be, as like a small goal. Like pick something that you have that maybe doesn't fit and then use that as a goal other than the scale, because the scale will mess with your mindset a lot. I've had a lot of clients that the scale hasn't moved but they've lost like 5 inches on their waist. It happens for some people. It's okay. Like the scale isn't the end all be all. It'll move eventually. But I want you guys to like think of other ways that you can use goals. Like something you have that you're like, all right, like this shit has been in my closet for months. Don't fit in it. My pants don't fit. This is gonna be my goal to fit in, because if you have that and you check it with something that's some other than like a number on a scale, you're gonna feel a lot better and it's going to really help your mindset rather than hurt it. Like, because some people really I have, talked to people in the past where they're jumping on the scale like every single day. I'm like, please don't do that. It's going to mess with your head because your body fluctuates on like throughout the day. You wake up in the morning, you're going to weigh like a couple pounds less than you will at night. And it's not actual fat, it's just the way you're processing food, inflammation, things like that. So kind of use other types of things that you can pinpoint to be like, all right, like I'm hitting my goals without being so obsessed with the scale. All right. Last but not least, I wanted to talk about your thoughts, because they will 100% dictate your process, like your progress in your, whatever we want to call it, your process, your progress, of this fitness journey. Because I don't know if this is any of you, but you ever been around someone that always talks not so much negatively, but they never bring anything good up. Like they're always like bringing like, oh, well, this kind of sucks. Oh, I've only lost like 1 pound since I started. Like, because they're constantly thinking that they're not going to see results because in their head all day long, they're just negative, negative, negative. That stuff adds up. And I know most people don't really talk about this a lot, but our thoughts are going through our brains, like obviously throughout the whole day. And it's really good for you to like keep tabs on what you're thinking about. Like really. I've been doing this a lot more often too, because it will play a huge effect on not only like what happens to you on a day-to-day basis, but like how you're feeling internally, right? So if we're constantly thinking negative, 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 or like anxious thoughts, like I have to do this, because we're thinking in the future, it's going to really affect get out of my head. It does, dude. Like it really does. Like you have to really I keep and I've read a ton of books. If you guys ever want any suggestions on some books that I've read through the past, because for me mindset is always, it's the biggest factor on you seeing things change for yourself, right? Everything starts here. And then if you're having issues here, it flows outward. And I don't want to be like all woo woo kind of deal, but it's true. It really will affect everything around you. Um, so keep tabs on what you're thinking about. And then when you notice, like, hey, I'm having a negative thought, kind of change it up, whatever it might be. It could be anything. Like, I've even been trying to not be so aggravated driving because people like suck at driving. Just little things like that. Like, start realizing, like, oh shit, like I keep saying this. Like, that person's an idiot. They drive like an idiot. They're super slow. Just realize like all that stuff is affecting you everywhere and other places you don't even realize. Because then we start looking at other things that we're doing. We're like, I suck at this, or I'm not very good. Like, why am I not seeing results? Like, I'm doing this, like that person's crushing it. It could just be your mindset. So always think about that. There's a couple of things you guys can do to help with this. Journaling. I have a whole big journal book right here. It's a big binder. So I'll write in this some days. I write things that I think of already having that I don't have, right? So for some of you, maybe your goal is to fit into nice, Lindsay's sick, to fit into a smaller size uniform or something that you want to see. Like, hey, like I really just envision yourself there already now, if that makes any sense. Because when we keep putting it in the future, future, it seems so far away. I'd rather you guys be like, hey, like I'm super grateful that I lost 10 pounds, and just write that out. Because you telling yourself that, like, you're already putting it in your brain, like, hey, I've already achieved this. And the more you do it, the easier it's going to become, the more the weight's going to start falling off, because you're in that mindset of like, hey, like I can do this. I'm happy I did it. I'm grateful that I've gotten this far. I'm happy my health is improving. All those things will really, really, really help you. Like I said, it's something that I do constantly just to not stress myself out so much. In terms of like if I'm not seeing something that I want immediately, right? Like, be grateful for what you have now. Live in the now, if that kind of makes some more sense for you guys. But that was really what I wanted to go over. Just a couple mindset things. I really, like I said, if you guys want any book recommendations, I think I put some in the course. If not, I can give you a few. I know a few clients reached out to me like, hey, like what's typical books that you read? And it's gonna be like different in a sense of like what type of mindset books I read. I've very like scientific type, because everything that we do is connected. So don't want to get weird on you guys, but the more you read about this stuff, the more it helps. Like, it really does. And you're like, holy shit, like everything I do has some sort of like consequence to it. Every time I'm grateful for something, more things good come into my life. Every time I'm not grateful, like it seems like more bad shit keeps happening. And you're like, why does this keep happening? So we kind of have to realize, like, all right, what are we thinking about and what can I change that I haven't done yet? All right, guys, you guys have anything? If not, I'll stop the recording. I don't know if anyone's got anything to chirp in on, anything like that. If not, no worries. No. Cool beans, cool beans.